The night sky over Beirut erupted in fire, a scene of unimaginable chaos and destruction. Explosions ripped through the air, shaking the city to its core, leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. A targeted Israeli airstrike had struck at the heart of Hezbollah, aiming for its leader, Hassan Nasrallah, in a bold and daring move. Smoke and debris filled the air, obscuring the devastation below, creating a scene of utter chaos and confusion. The news spread like wildfire. Nasrallah, the face of Hezbollah, the architect of its resistance, was reported dead, sending shockwaves through the region. The strike marked a dramatic escalation in the long and bitter conflict between Israel and Hezbollah, a conflict that had already claimed countless lives. This was not just another strike, another attack in a seemingly endless cycle of violence, but a significant turning point. This was a calculated gamble by Israel, a high-stakes operation aimed at decapitating the organization by eliminating its charismatic leader, a move fraught with risks. The immediate aftermath was chaos, with people running in all directions, trying to escape the carnage. Ambulances raced through the streets, sirens wailing, attempting to reach the wounded amidst the rubble, a desperate race against time. Fear and uncertainty gripped the city, the initial shock giving way to a chilling realization. The region was on the brink of a new and potentially catastrophic chapter, one that could reshape the future of the Middle East. Want to know what's happening? Let's know the story from the beginning. To understand the potential ramifications of this event, one must understand the man who was Hassan Nasrallah. A cleric, a strategist, a leader who commanded unwavering loyalty from his followers, Nasrallah transformed Hezbollah from a guerrilla militia into a powerful political and military force. He was a master of propaganda, his speeches broadcast across the Arab world, galvanizing support for Hezbollah and its cause. He was a symbol of defiance against Israel, his image emblazoned on flags and posters, his name chanted in demonstrations. He was the binding force for Hezbollah, his words shaping the organization's ideology, his decisions guiding its actions. His elimination, if confirmed, would be a devastating blow to Hezbollah, leaving a void in leadership that would be difficult, if not impossible, to fill immediately. The news of the airstrike and Nasrallah's reported death sent shockwaves throughout the Middle East and beyond, reverberating through the region's already tense atmosphere. In Lebanon, reactions were immediate and divided, with some expressing sorrow and others fear for what might come next. Hezbollah supporters, many in disbelief and mourning, took to the streets, their grief tinged with anger and calls for revenge. The air was thick with chants and the waving of flags, a potent mix of sorrow and fury. Israel went on high alert, bracing for the inevitable retaliation. The streets were filled with a palpable tension as military vehicles mobilized and citizens sought shelter. The Iron Dome missile defense system was activated, its batteries prepared to intercept rockets that might rain down from Lebanon. Soldiers worked tirelessly, knowing the stakes were incredibly high. The possibility of a full-blown conflict, something that has been simmering beneath the surface for years, suddenly felt terrifyingly real. Civilians began to flee potential conflict zones, adding to the chaos. World leaders scrambled to contain the situation, issuing urgent calls for restraint. Diplomatic channels buzzed with activity as efforts to de-escalate the crisis intensified. The United Nations, often criticized for its impotence in the face of Middle Eastern conflicts, found itself once again at the center of a crisis threatening to spiral out of control. Peacekeepers were on high alert, ready to intervene if necessary. The potential death of Nasrallah leaves a gaping hole in Hezbollah's leadership structure, creating an unprecedented challenge for the organization. Who will step into the void left by such a significant figure? Will it be a leader cut from the same cloth, a figure capable of holding the organization together and maintaining its course of resistance, or someone with a new vision? Or will his absence create a power struggle within the organization, fracturing it into competing factions with differing agendas and ambitions? Such a scenario could lead to further instability in Lebanon. potentially plunging the country back into a period of internal conflict that it can ill afford, given its already fragile state. This is a critical juncture for Hezbollah, says Dr. Hanan Gadar, a senior fellow at the Washington Institute for Near East Policy, emphasizing the gravity of the situation. The organization is facing its biggest test in decades, a test that will determine its future trajectory. How it responds to this attack and who emerges as its new leader will have profound implications for the region, potentially altering the balance of power in the Middle East. One thing is certain: Hezbollah will seek revenge. Retaliation is deeply ingrained in the organization's DNA, a core principle that has guided its actions since its inception. The question is not if, but when, where, and how Hezbollah will choose to strike back. Will it be a measured response, a symbolic attack aimed at demonstrating its continued capabilities and deterring further Israeli aggression? Or will it be something more audacious, a large-scale operation targeting strategic Israeli infrastructure or military assets? The potential for miscalculation is high, as is the risk of unintended escalation. A spiral of violence, once set in motion, can be difficult to contain, particularly in a region as volatile as the Middle East. A region on edge, international responses and fears of escalation. The international community watches with bated breath, hoping to avert a wider conflagration. The United States, a staunch ally of Israel, has pledged its unwavering support while also urging restraint. European leaders, mindful of the potential for a humanitarian disaster, have called for an immediate ceasefire and a return to dialogue. But words may ring hollow in the face of deeply entrenched grievances and decades of mistrust. The situation remains highly volatile, a tinderbox awaiting a spark. The coming days and weeks will be critical in determining whether this latest chapter in the Israeli-Hezbollah conflict will be one of restraint or one of unrestrained escalation. Hezbollah's future, a crossroads of uncertainty. Hezbollah stands at a crossroads. The potential loss of its charismatic leader, a man who has been synonymous with the organization for decades, is a seismic event. How it chooses to move forward will shape not only its own destiny, but also the future of Lebanon and the broader Middle East. Will it succumb to internal divisions and infighting? Or will it find a way to maintain its unity and purpose in the face of this unprecedented challenge? The answers to these questions remain to be seen. The unfolding legacy of a fallen leader. The legacy of Hassan Nasrallah, once seemingly secure, is now shrouded in uncertainty. Was he a man of the people, a champion of resistance against Israeli aggression? Or was he a ruthless terrorist leader, responsible for countless deaths and responsible for fueling instability in the region? History, as always, will be the judge. But one thing is certain: his death, if confirmed, marks the end of an era. A new chapter is being written in the Middle East, and the world watches anxiously to see what the next page will bring. Shifting sands. The future of the Middle East. The Middle East, never a stranger to turmoil, finds itself once again at a pivotal moment. The old order, if it ever truly existed, is crumbling. New alliances are being forged, old rivalries are resurfacing, and the potential for both conflict and cooperation hangs in the balance. The strike on Hezbollah is not an isolated event. It is a symptom of a deeper malaise, a reflection of the shifting power dynamics and the unresolved conflicts that continue to plague the region. The path ahead remains unclear, shrouded in uncertainty and fraught with danger. But one thing is certain: the only constant in the Middle East is change, and the only way to navigate the shifting sands is with wisdom, courage, and an unwavering commitment to peace. Thank you for watching. For more in-depth analysis and updates on this developing story, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell.